Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of The Curse of the Collector, because, of course, the curse is real, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce the crew that we have here. We're each going to go 2 rounds and show something we've gotten since the last episode. We got Jamie Laszlo. We got all the way from Scotland, Davey Gallagher. Hope you're feeling better, Davey. Armando Venditti from Canada, fresh from a cruise. I hope you're feeling better, Armando, as well. A little bit of
doing good.
poisoning.
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, Nick Usofian's here. And from the great state of Texas, Scott Berry. Greetings, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hey, Pete.
Good afternoon.
That's right. I know for a fact, because we are all connected on Facebook, so I know for a fact all of you guys have been buying all sorts of stuff. So that's usually never the problem. It's trying to figure out, well, what am I going to show in this episode? Because we only have 2 slots to show things. So I'm sure the guys have picked out some really cool things to show and talk about. So we're going to go start with Jamie. Kick us off today.
All right. No joke. I didn't know what I was going to talk about until 25 minutes ago. Well, about an hour ago. I literally just got in from the record store 25 minutes ago. And
Really?
Have you ever seen Amoeba Records in LA? They do a little show on YouTube called What's in My Bag?
What's in my bag?
Yeah, I thought I'd do What's in My Bag that I got today at the record store. I haven't heard any of this. It hasn't even been out of the bag yet. But I will be listening to it all today, because today is the 9th annual Laszlo Barcade Company Christmas party. Normally it's just me and the animals. Sometimes
I apologize, everybody. There is a fireman's parade going down the road in front of my house at the moment. So that's
Don't you live in the middle of nowhere?
I do. I'm like,
and there's a parade
going on here. They've got the loudspeakers. They have all the sirens going off. I heard it like up the road a bit. I'm like, what is all that noise? And here they go.
I didn't hear
How many spectators? 3?
Nobody. There's nobody out here. It's like snow's on the ground. No, there's nobody out here. What are they doing here? I don't know. Anyway.
See, I didn't hear a thing, so you're good, Pete.
They've got the music blasting. They've got the sirens going. Like, what is going on? Yeah, it's like a whole procession of fire police and fire trucks and
weird.
I live out in the middle of nowhere. Like, what?
It's all for you, Pete. They know you're the
it's like being in a David Lynch movie. Train goes by, there's no spectators. It's,
Anyway, Jamie, I apologize.
That's all right. I was saying today is the 9th annual Laszlo Barcade Company Christmas party. It's just like any other Saturday, but it happens in December. Normally the wife is here, but she's been in Kenya. She comes back in 2 days after a month. So this is What's in My Bag, used kids records here in Columbus, Ohio. This stuff has not been out of the bag yet. I just got in and I picked up, you know what? The vinyl of this is in really good shape. The cover, Lucifer's Friend. I'm just a rock and roll singer. I don't have this one. I never streamed it, so I don't know what, they always go a different direction on every album.
It's good.
I don't know where they went with this one.
It's good.
I'll be finding out today as I'm drinking beers.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I've never owned this album, Angel Witch. I've heard it. I've streamed it, a few times over the last 15, 20 years. Finally own a copy. That's a repress. It's not an original copy or anything. This is an original. Beefing up my Sabotage collection. So, Fight for the Rock. Very cliche name.
Yeah, it's their worst album, but it's still worth having. There's a couple.
Yeah, you know what? If it was a repress, I wouldn't have got it. But it's an original pressing from 86. Yeah. So I was like, I'll get it.
It's worth having.
I also got. Well, I bought this for the cover because it used to crack me up when I was 14.
Okay.
I mean, everybody used to talk about that cover when it came out. Like, that's going to be in my collection.
It made it.
Bryce just jumped up in the air and said, yes.
There you go, Davey, with the face palm. This will make up for it, Davey. You go Zappa, you don't know what you're going to get. So I got Zappa in New York. It was $15 for a double album.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Is this one killer?
Yes.
Is that a good one?
Excellent.
Yes.
I never know. Because
Lot
I
of
used
fun.
to be like Man
That
from
box
Utopia,
set.
which is just too
No,
New
New
York
York.
I love Man from Utopia.
This was only $10. A picture disc of Ozzy. No More
Quite a
Tears.
glare, Jamie. Quite a glare on these.
Too much glare.
I can see it. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a glare.
I
But
mean,
there you go.
$10. Yeah, I'll take it. And I got I bought this just because it's the only Fleetwood Mac I don't own. Time. Hard to see. There's a lot of Christmas lights in this bar, guys, and they're all reflecting off the thing. So
Is that
Fleetwood
the one
Mac
with Dave
Time,
Mason in the
just
group?
to complete my Fleetwood Mac collection. I know it's not that great. They gave me
that's that weird one-off lineup that just totally bombed.
Yeah,
Should have been
Billy
pretty good.
Burnett. And
Yeah.
That's part of the curse. You get it all, even the bad stuff.
Double Trouble Live
Nice.
for $1.
Got that.
It
that's
may
a
not
good one.
even play with these cassettes. It's always a gamble. But you know what? I haven't heard their version of Freebird in like 40 years. So I'm going to crank that again today. I can't remember if it sucked or not
They did a version of Freebird?
on that live album. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes. You know
Course-
what? This
course
is in
they
really
did.
good shape. I've never seen this exact pressing of this Pat Benatar live from Earth album. And all my cassettes I have of this don't play. So this looks like it plays. It's $1. It's $1. It's a pressing I don't own. And they had for $10 a Criterion. Repo Man.
Oh,
Repo
Repo Man,
Man,
by
like
Alex
my most
Cox.
favorite
What a
movie in
great
the world.
movie.
No, but I know it's a cult classic. I know it's an important movie to a lot of people. $10 for Criterion, I'm grabbing it.
It's a very important movie to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we watched it in film class in 1993. We were watching that in college.
Harry Dean Stanton's got one of my
Harry
favorite
Dean.
lines in movie history. He says, "Ordinary people, look at him. I fucking hate him."
You know what? I have a feeling I'm going to
Exactly.
like it better now as I'm in my 50s than when I saw it as a early 20s. So there you go. That's what's in my bag.
That's a nice little haul. It's in the
Very cool.
bag.
And like Jamie, I didn't know what I was going to do for this episode till probably like an hour before we got together because I had a bunch of things and I'm like, I generally don't like to belabor my picks. And I like to decide like shortly before we tape because I always have so much to choose from. So I was like, all right, I think I got it. So,
Yeah.
cool. All right, Davey.
Okay, so not terribly dissimilar. I'm doing on my channel Blu-rays of the year, albums of the year, reissues of the year, etc., etc. And my list of 10 turned into 20, turned into 50, and I really don't know how I'm going to whittle it down. So I just grabbed a bundle that I thought would be SOT or SOT tangential, and thought, well, I'll ring a few of these off just now. So reissue-wise, Marillion's Holidays in Eden box set.
Nice.
Still not the best Marillion album, but it's the best you're ever going to hear this. And I can't believe we're only seasons end away from finishing this whole series, which is quite a scary proposition. Did a video on this week. Neil Young's Harvest 50th anniversary edition box set, which as great as the CD is, as great as the BBC concert and DVD are, the reason to get this is the film Harvest Time. Big, long film, shot at the time, so it's not one of these 50 years later things. It's home footage shot at the time, showing you them recording the album, going over to London to record with the orchestra and everything. It's absolutely fantastic. Sensational stuff. This is just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, mine's on the way. Davey, I decided to buy it based on your review, and that was the selling point. Is the documentary?
Oh,
I may only watch it.
Love it.
Review.
But
That
who
was,
cares?
that
You'll
was
like
not
it,
my
Pete.
best.
It is really good. I have it. It's really good.
Yeah.
I'll probably be getting.
I was
mine
holding on
after
to the
Christmas.
walls for dear life in that review just to keep myself up, but yeah.
Yeah.
Armando, sorry to rub this one in, but King Crimson, the new documentary.
Mine's on the way.
Yeah, I know, but you're one from Canada, let you down. As Canadians often do, it has to be said. So in the Court of the Kingdom, Crimson King. So 2 of these discs I think are a waste. I don't think you need 2 of them on DVD if you've got the exact same 2 on Blu-ray. I don't think you need that. But you do get 4 discs of original soundtrack material. And what's cool about that is there's about 5 tracks that tell you from the upcoming album, blah, blah, blah. So you even get a tease of what's coming next in the Crimson reissue series and things. So you get a big 2-hour-long documentary, and that's packed with special features. You get also, you get a short version of the original idea for the documentary, which is completely different. You get just, it's stacked. It's stacked. And every disc, you know, the last ever performance of Starless, short films that are included in things. So 2 Blu-rays, 2 DVDs, 4 CDs. And like Harvest, it's not an expensive set either. It's like we're always saying about these things. How come they can do this cheap and Harvest cheap, but the minute you make it in a book format, it's $150 all of a sudden.
So let me ask a quick question. So I didn't jump on that when it first came out, and I went to go look into. I saw Armando's couple of Facebook posts about it. So I went to them like, and someone asked me, it's like, oh, you're going to do a review on it? I'm like, I probably should go get it. And now, like the places where I saw it available when it first came out don't have it, and the ones that do have it are charging like $80 and more for it. Like, what's the
That's
deal?
average price.
Is
Yeah,
it
that's the
sold
average
out?
price.
That is, yeah.
I
gotta- Did it
because it's
come
8
out?
discs. That's why
I
I'm
gotta
saying.
tell you,
That's why I'm
with-
saying you should. They should
Months
drop
ago.
the DVD part. It's adding money on for no reason. But it is 8 discs, so that's the going rate, unfortunately.
Yeah.
yeah, their website, Crimson's website is selling it for 67 American.
Well, that's not.
Well, I was going to
US.
get it, but the hell with it.
But because of, I ordered it from them because, again, Amazon gave me 3 release dates and it's still not available. So I said, forget this. And I'm paying, because of the rate of exchange, $124.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's the rate of exchange. It's nothing I can do.
Yeah,
about it.
part of me is just
That
if I
hurts,
spend
though.
the money on it, like how often am I gonna? What I watch it once and maybe listen to the stuff a couple times and then never bother
Right.
with it? I don't know. You know, so,
It made me cry. It's a very emotional documentary.
yeah.
Very
I
emotional
love the band so
documentary.
much, so I want to. See it.
And but it is available as a standalone. You don't need to go for the box set. You can just get the documentary. But we're music fans, so you know.
I mean, yeah, and I
that's-
collect King Crimson live stuff, so I want the live stuff. So yeah, it's, all right.
Yeah, so it's catch-22.
Maybe after
Very
Christmas.
quickly, then run through some others. The box set of Ultravox's Rage in Eden, with a new Stephen Wilson remix. The second one he's done, this is the album that came out after Vienna. I know they never had the success in America that they should have had, but to me, they're one of the ultimate new wave bands of the UK. It's from the mid-year era. The Beatles in 4K, the first ever 4K release. It's now from Criterion, but this is A Hard Day's Night. It looks
Really?
absolutely stunning on 4K. Absolutely stunning. Comes with all sorts of memorabilia and whatnot on the inside, with discs and whatnot. So pretty cool.
Are they releasing that in a regular size Blu-ray package?
Over there where you are, Criterion have already done so. So
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
So
These
you'll get
gigantic
that, no
things
problem.
drive me crazy because I can't. Where do I put them? You know, it's like.
Well, I just put them on my vinyl, so it's nice and easy. At least, at least they stick to one size, even if it's vinyl size, you know, and don't make up some silly size. I hate that. You know,
Yeah, for someone who doesn't have vinyl, that drives me crazy because it's like, but yeah, I'll look into the regular.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah. Speaking of vinyl, thanks to my buddy over at My Music Corner, Mr. John Clauser, for giving me the heads up on these. It's the only 2 official releases of the Quiet Riot LPs, the first 2 that have come out. So since back in the Japanese days, so Quiet Riot 1 and 2, complete with bonus tracks on Quiet Riot 1 that have got the EP from 1975.
Wow.
So from as early as that. The rights were left with Benali, and he died during lockdown? And he didn't join the lineup until after this, but he had the rights to these 2 albums. So it's kind of bizarre. So his estate negotiated the rights to release 2 albums that he's not even on, but they did a limited run. They're on coloured vinyl from No Remorse Records. So finally, you can get official versions of the 2 Quiet Riot albums.
I saw original pressing last summer for the one on Your Right, not the red one, and I think they wanted 120, 150 for it.
Yeah,
Lord.
proper originals, and you won't get number 2, but proper originals. Then run through a few more up-to-date ones, vinyl wise. Drive by Truckers, Welcome to Club 13. Definitely one of my favorite Southern Rocky albums of the year. It's a typical great cover from the DBTs. Wolfat. Now, what a cover that is. Speaking of great covers,
Great
Singularity, absolutely fantastic. I don't know how to describe this, but it is everything the album basically. And just wow, talk about an album cover you could just stare at for ages after. What the hell? That's just fantastic.
Yeah, they're such a great band. Scott,
Yeah,
do you ever get to see them, Scott? Because they're from Texas.
I have not.
No, great band.
I'm not even really all that familiar with them.
Oh, they're a great stoner.
Oh,
rock
they're
band.
great. It's like
Think of like
stoner rock,
top on stoner.
proggish.
ZZ
Yeah,
Top,
and
what?
bluesy, but yeah, they've got everything going for them. It's like a band to show all their influences, but don't copy anyone. And I love that. Some acts do that.
Well, I'll look into
just on the
that.
DVDs.
Yeah, you would like them, Scott. Wolfat, really. They have like maybe
All right.
7 albums.
It's a cool album cover. I'll tell you that. But I'll check
Speaking
them
of cool album covers, Earthless, Night Parade of 100 Demons.
Oh, yeah.
Which again is one of those everything the albums. I absolutely love this. Pete, you'll have to apologize. I'll have to apologize. I've not been watching your countdown list because I didn't want to influence my own. So I'll catch up on that in January once I've done mine. So I don't know if any of these have appeared on your list or not.
I've seen
Spoiler
Earthless
alert, that one
live.
is coming. That one is coming.
All right.
I've seen Earthless. They rock the house.
Ugh, so
Yeah, and what an album that is too. I mean, it's only a few tracks, but what tracks?
They opened
What
for
tracks?
Graveyard, so that was a hell of
Yeah.
a
Unreal.
Big.
Fantastic Negrito, White Jesus, Black Problems, one of the best soul albums of the year. Blues, soul, kind of concept album about the guy's own family tree. This is just a stunning record in any way, shape, or form. That will be out for Grammys, no doubt. Levon Helm and Mavis Staples, obviously posthumous because Levon left us in 2014, but this is fantastic. Goodbye. Even does sing a little bit of The Weight, even though he'd lost his voice to cancer by then. So Mavis covers the vocals. But yeah, it's just great kind of stuff that you'd want them to be singing. I wish I knew how it felt to be free, move along train. You got to move, got to serve somebody. Just standards. One that I covered with, because I'm a bit of a tart, one that I covered with Pete, Simon, and Stephen, and then Armando on my channel. We did Cats in Space, Kickstart the Sun, which again, talk about your artwork. I mean, Jesus, yeah, unreal stuff. Great year for I think a lot of bands put so much effort in because they had the year that shall not be spoken of to kind of catch up. And then finally for this round, Derek Sharonian's Vortex, which Pete must either be on your list or this is the best. It's like sci-fi rock is probably the best way I'd describe it. So it's got a bit of the kind of Muse vibe about it, but it's still very much Derek Sharonian. I mean, it even looks like Doctor Who in the back. It looks like the TARDIS or something should be flying about in there. I mean, it's absolutely sensational stuff. The minute I heard the title track Vortex, I was like, oh, this is so far up my alley. It's not real. So yeah, those are some reissues and vinyls from kind of best of the year.
cool.
I just want to say I never seen
stuff.
CSN logo with the and symbol in it. Yeah, I've never seen that.
Oh.
Yep.
It's very weird.
It's wooden ships on the water.
And in regards to Vortex, I believe that was my pick number 17, if I remember correctly. 2 days ago. Yeah, Vortex is amazing. All right, Armando.
Okay. Well, Bob's going to step in and help me with this one. First of all, any Herbie Hancock fans in the house here?
Right
Hands
here.
up.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna give a special shout out to, just one second, Bob. Just one second. I'm gonna turn the camera over to Bob here. I'm gonna give a special shout out to Vince Leroy, longtime viewer of SOT, because he turned me on to this. This is Herbie Hancock, the Complete Columbia Records collection, in the same vein as the Miles Davis collection, complete Columbia collection. I haven't even had coffee today, guys. This was released on November 11th, 2013. It's 31 albums across 34 CDs.
Jeez.
Okay. From 72 to 88. All right. I've been busy, guys, believe me.
Some great stuff in that set.
Holy
absolutely.
shit.
Yep.
Bob, I don't know if you can hear me, but if you could turn the box to
Just
that
turn
side. Yeah, there you go.
Shows
There's
that.
that side.
A
There's
little glare there.
Glare, but
There's a
yeah.
bit of a glare, Bob, but hold on.
That's okay. So we can see
It's
the
okay.
width as well.
It's-
Yeah.
we still got it. We still got it.
I can
Mhm.
kind of
Okay.
see
There
it.
we go.
What's good about this, but just turn a bit more. There we go. There we go. Thank you. He is really helpful, guys. He's fighting a cold too. So
Mhm.
You'll feel better,
he's really
Bob.
not doing well this morning.
Feel better.
Let's give him a round of applause later. What's good about this set is, or what really turned me on about the set, there are 8 albums in this collection, in this set, that were not available outside of Japan
Oh, wow.
until this release. And we're gonna list them off for you, and we're gonna show them to you.
Oof.
And I got them here, okay? You got Dedication.
Yep.
From 74. Okay. Next one. Maybe grab them 2 at a time or whatever. You got Flood from 75.
Killer album. Killer album.
I've seen that one before.
Yeah, that has
great
been
live-
out since. Yeah.
Great live album.
Yeah.
So-
You have the Herbie Hancock Trio from 77.
Mm.
He has way more albums than I thought he had.
Oh yeah, he's got a
Yeah.
lot.
He's got a million.
You have
Yeah.
this one is
Anybody in
Tempest-
jazz does.
This one is Tempest in the Coliseum from 77. Okay. The next one is Direct Step from 78. Okay, thank you, Bob.
And folks watching, these are all the Japan only releases. just so
Yes,
you know.
that's right.
Of
These are
course.
only the Japan only releases. This one is 5 stars from 79.
The SOP. Yeah.
Yeah, the SOP. This one is Butterfly featuring Kamiko Kasai. Okay. And the last one here that I saw was it's an album called An Evening with Herbie Hancock and Chick Corea.
I've got that one.
Okay. So I
Yeah,
just
that's
wanted to
been
pull
out
this
too.
one out
Yeah.
because I know I'm a Chick Corea fan. I know Pete is a Chick Corea fan. And again, a really big shout out to Vince Leroy. And then if I'm saying your last name wrong, I apologize, brother. We'll talk later. He's a fantastic music fan. He loves music. I got this off of, he turned me on to this. I got this off of eBay for $130.
Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
But with what you get in the package, you also get a hardcover book with notes and stuff and listings of the albums and all the information, essays, etc. But for what you get, it's a good deal. And again, I'm going to stress, I'm not saying you must buy this. I'm saying this is what I chose to buy and what I wanted to invest my money in. And I am not sorry I did. So I'm about to dive into this.
Yeah. Well, you know, as an
Yeah.
introduction to Herbie Hancock's music, I mean, you've got all the best. You got Mondishi, you got Headhunters, you got all that classic stuff in there, and
It's on those, yeah.
release
Yeah.
stuff. That's
And I even have the what's it, the Modishi?
yeah.
From
Mondishi.
Warner. I have those. I have Crossings. So yeah, you have everything you want from Columbia on this in this release. So yeah, that's my first selection of the day. And
Actually,
again,
Armando, that price doesn't sound bad at all to me for what you get.
no, it isn't. It isn't.
Interested
And
to
again,
probably check
I'm
that
gonna-
out myself.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I just want to give Bob a quick thank you, and he's going to take off for now because he's not feeling well.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bob,
Bob.
all the best. Merry Christmas.
Mhm.
Merry Christmas to you.
And yeah, no,
Bob talks. I didn't know that.
what was that?
I never heard Bob talk before.
Yeah.
Bob does talk, yeah. But no, for again, quickly, for what you get in the set, you can't go wrong, all right? And I have other, I mean, I am a collector. I have other copies of Thrust and Sextet and, you know, standalone, but this I couldn't pass up. I'm an idiot. I'm a collector.
I've probably got about 10 of those.
So yeah, that's my first selection.
Cool. Awesome. All right, Nick.
Alrighty. Well, folks, how do I describe this one? Well, Pete, you did your top 30 or 31 female fronted bands, and that was one heck of a series. I said, well, you know what? I'm sure there's some bands out there that he's probably never heard of. So I said, there's also a quote that Chris L has. It's got gore, it's got boobs. What more do you want? So I was browsing the metal archive.
I think I know what movie that was as well.
Theater Day Vampires, Moonlight Waltz Tour 2011. It got a DVD which features songs about blood. There's songs about gore, about Medusa, etc. This was recorded. This is an Italian symphonic gothic band, and I currently have there's a DVD of it. This concert's like 85 minutes long. Got additional bonus CD. Get some live. Got the information here, which I am going to show. Got a rather nice, attractive singer named Sonia Scarlett. You've got on keyboards Fabian Verassi, guitar Stefan Benfante, drums Gabriel Valerio, and bass guitar Simon Lijoi. I don't know how to pronounce that. So
Close enough.
yeah. So it's like he is. I did watch this. The vocals for me were a little bit harsh because when I was expecting a singer, I expected to be like straightforward, but instead, what she may do is that she'll be singing like the song Medusa. I am Medusa. Watch my hair. It's like, I am Medusa. Watch my hair. Avoid my eyes. It was like she was either struggling to pronounce it. It's just an unusual style of the way how the vocals were delivered. Like I said, it's 85 minutes. Where is the track listing? Hang on, I didn't. It shows you how prepared I am as usual. Okay. Keeper of Secrets.
I was getting flashbacks to Nostradamus. I am Nostradamus.
I was just thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
What country did you say they're from?
Italy.
Okay,
Italy.
that might explain some of the pronunciation.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
it's like a foreign language, Italian.
The singer comes out in various costumes, and there's a nice posterior shot here and there. If you're looking for something a little bit gothic, kind of macabre, I would recommend Theater de Vampire. That comes from a 1976 Anne Rice book. I'm trying to remember the details about it, like vampires pretending to be humans or something like that. It's interesting. It's something different. So if you want to check out something in the vein of Epica, After Forever, Within Temptation, etc.
Yeah, Fear of Tragedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you find something like that, Nick?
Discogs online for like $20 or something like that. It's nice thick sound to it. Physical media rules, period. It's a lot better than paying $8 an hour for a verified check mark on other social media. I don't even want to go into that. So
yeah, we're not going to go there.
Yeah,
that's a whole other show.
That's right. That's right.
By the way, knows we're both wearing a amount of muscle.
Oh, look at that! Wow.
Wow.
We killed each other this morning. Damn it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. All right. I got a
big group hug.
Scott.
Yep. I'll be right back, folks.
Right.
What?
Thank you, sir. So my first pick isn't one by one particular band or artist, but it's a series that includes many bands, and it's kind of a work in progress for me. I've spoken before on here about the impulse buy, and this is a good example of that. And what I'm referring to is King Biscuit Flower Hour Archive Series. Robin Trower,
Okay.
Bog Hat, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Todd Rundgren, Iggy Pop, and yes, the Ramones, Pete and Jamie's favorite band.
They really don't do much for me either, but I understand.
Well, I know. It's
I like the
controversial
Ramones.
around here. Deal with it.
No, I know.
Yeah. Anyway, over the last couple of years,
No
I've
shade.
crossed several of these in my travels. And for those not in the know, or maybe just too young to remember, King Biscuit was a syndicated radio show that would feature a different band or artists in concert every Sunday evening on rock stations across the United States. Show ran from 1973 to 1993 with original programming, and continued in reruns until 2005. At its peak, the show ran on over 300 stations across the U.S. And in the late 90s and early 2000s, they began releasing the dozens of CDs from their archives. Although there's still a lot that never got released, you know, for whatever legal reasons, licensing reasons.
Yeah.
I used to listen to the show fairly regularly in the 80s, and they had a wide variety of artists. It seemed like they just had just about everybody at one time or another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I found all these.
Do you know one of my favorite ones ever, Scott, is Greg Lake did his solo one.
I've seen
and
that one.
I have that one.
It's Gary Moore playing
Gary
guitar
Moore
for
one.
him.
And you got to get the
Who's
humble pie one as
Who's
well.
playing more?
Really?
Gary
Okay.
Moore?
Yeah.
Gary
wow.
Moore, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's-
I'm okay. I might have to add that to the list now.
I don't
Yeah,
think there's
it's a-
any keyboards on that album, is there?
No, Gary's
No,
the-
it's
Gary's the
He
Oh,
does all the
vocalist.
keyboard parts.
It's pretty much a power trio. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I said I found all these in the wild so far, and I've just kind of stumbled across them. Fortunately, they've all been in about the $4 to $8 range.
And cheap, yeah.
The Trower one about a year ago, and I'm liking this even better than his official live album from '76.
Well, you know why, Scott? Because that's got all the tracks.
Well,
that-
well, because it's
Exactly.
double the length. Yeah.
Well, 12 tracks on this one versus 7 on the '76 album, and that clocks in around 38 minutes. This one's more closer to what a full concert would be. It's about 71 minutes.
And that's what it should be, like a full show, not truncated. Like,
And the band,
He only had a one record deal at the time.
yeah, it's that one's from '77.
Make sure you hunt down the humble pie
Contrast-
one. The humble
No,
pie
I mean-
one is excellent.
I did see the humble pie one. Full disclosure, I've had the Ramones one for a few years. Again, everybody's favorite band, right?
Pete, you're forced to listen to one band, The Clash or the Ramones, for 1 hour. Which one you picking?
I'd probably go the Clash
I'd probably go the Ramones.
overall.
Right.
Really?
I go
Wow, that's
Ramones, too.
surprising.
I go the
Well,
Clash.
I love.
I figure
The
I don't
Clash,
like either
my
one of them, but they're
favorite
from New
bands,
York.
so,
I'll
yeah.
give my New York.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
There you
I
go.
get it now. It's great.
Yeah.
Support at the New
That's
York
easy. I
Palladium.
adore the Clash.
This was from 1978, and this is one of their last shows with Tommy on drums. Running time in this set is about 56 minutes, and there's a total of 27 songs.
Of course there is.
Speed
Yeah.
and brevity were the order of the day on a Ramones show. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sometimes you might even notice the difference between them.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is hard.
I
to-
want to be sedated.
Just go right
I
from
don't
one
want
to
to
the
grow up.
other.
I don't.
I remember,
Bye-bye.
just quickly, I remember an interview that Joe Strummer gave, that when he saw the Ramones the first time, it was like a 30-minute set. That was it, like right to the minute. A 31 minute
72
that
songs
wasn't
they played that
necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. In stark contrast to the Ramones, this Emerson, Lake and Palmer set, and it's 76, has 12
That's half a
songs,
song.
and it concludes with a 34-minute of the Carnival 9,
Oh,
including a very
Okay.
lengthy solo, drum solo by Carl Palmer. I never thought I'd be talking to Ramones and Emerson, Lake and Palmer in the same breath.
That's right.
I like
Real.
how these covers kind of look a little like concert posters. It's sort of what they remind me of.
Yep.
So these are now out of print. And like I said, I see a wide range of prices of these on Amazon. Sometimes they're cheap, sometimes they're pricey. But so if you're looking online for these, look around, shop and compare. I'm guessing I'm getting to the point now where these aren't just impulse anymore. I'm actually starting to seek them out. There's a Motorhead one from the Another Perfect Day tour, which is the only tour with Brian Robertson on guitar. So that might be an interesting get. Some of the others I'd like to get, there's a Deep Purple set from 76 with Tommy Bolin on guitar.
Yep.
Another
branch.
done.
Yep.
You're right. There's Riot Heat. There's Triumph. Pat Travers, the band. Kansas from
Triumph would be good.
Yeah.
And there's even a Gentle Giant and a Renaissance. Pete, throwing it out there. You probably got them already. But anyway.
Yeah, I have the Gentle Giant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say the Deep Purple one, that's from Long Branch, California. That's probably the best recorded Tommy Bolin show you can get now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
but Tommy's not on top form though.
but if you've heard the Japan live album, he's severely compromised in that one. But the Long Branch is a really good recording. He's really good in that one.
He probably died not too long after that, right?
Yeah, within a year.
Yeah. I really, when I got Come Taste the Band, I mean I kind of blew that album off for years, and I bought it earlier in the year, and it's like, wow, that's an amazing album. I mean,
that's a great album.
It's a good album.
It's not Richie Blackmore, but it's got this nice little funky thing going through it. It's a good
album. There's a lot of sex in the playing on that album. It's really down and dirty and groovy. Like I call it sex.
It's an R&B album.
I call it sex.
It's much more of an R&B album than it is.
It's great though for what it is.
No, it is. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't released like a box set with all the King Biscuit stuff. You would have thought at some point that I know it's hard because you got all these different rights and things with all the artists, but
well, yeah, there's a bunch of them out there. But
he's got to track them down, right?
But getting all of them, and like
I said, classics of the bargain bins, though, so it's always good to dig up.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Cool. All right, so my first selection of the day is a single release that I picked up very recently, and this was based on a recommendation from Ken Golden from the Laser's Edge, of course, one of the folks in the product seat. And I had never heard of this band before, but I had always heard that one of my favorite Swedish bands, Opeth, named one of their albums after a obscure 70s British band. So I always trust Michael Ackerfeld and his recommendations and all that kind of stuff as well. So when Ken was talking about the one and only release from British band Still Life from 1971, and then he showed this, and I was like, okay, roses on top of a skull. I was like, I am intrigued. And then he further said that this is just really
Grateful Dead.
Little Grateful Dead-ish, right? But Hammond organ-led heavy prog music. And I was, of course, massively intrigued. And I love British proto-prog from the early 70s. So I had to go and find this. And this was reissued on Repertoire Records from Germany, who do a fine job of reissuing old Vertigo and Harvest releases from the early 70s. So I just got this recently. I ordered it from a guy on Discogs. And there's 6 tracks. It's basically just Hammond organ, bass, drums, and vocals. There's no guitar on here. One song has a little bit of acoustic guitar, but you really don't even miss the guitar because there's so much Hammond organ riffs and solos. Martin Cure on vocals, Graham Amos on bass, Terry Howells on keyboards, and Alan Savage on drums. 6 tracks. For those watching, you want to go investigate this album, go listen to the song People in Black. It's 8 minutes and change. First song on the album. Killer. October Witches is another song, 8 minutes plus, really good. The song Dreams is excellent. If I could describe this to you, they kind of sound like The Crazy World of Arthur Brown meets Arthur Brown's Kingdom Come meets Van de Graaff Generator, with a little kind of doomy vibe going on there that's maybe not too different than like Atomic Rooster. But again, really heavy Hammond organ, creepy vibes, really strong vocals. The singer is he again reminds me of Peter Hamill meets Arthur Brown. without like the high pitched shrieks of Arthur Brown. So I really like this a lot. So if you can track it down, like I said, this is a Repertoire Records release. There's used copies out there in the wild. So you know, I mean, who can pass up something that looks like that, right?
Mhm.
So that is my one pick.
Yeah, that is a
First
cool
pick.
cover.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. All right,
You know,
back to the.
Michael Ackerfeld, I kind of trust his taste in music.
I 100% same here, Jamie. Yep.
He's like the one guy I trust the most, I think.
Mhm.
So when he names something after something, I'm like, okay, because he does it quite a bit,
Yeah.
songs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, on that same topic, for those who have not heard the band Blackwater Park that he
Right.
named that seminal album on, that is a great early 70s heavy band. The Blackwater Park album is tremendous.
Wait,
Great band. So that's another one.
Pete, there's
Yeah.
a band called Blackwater Park?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I thought maybe you were referring to the Opeth album.
Yeah, well, the album is tremendous, but he named that album after a German
After the band,
Blackwater Park. Yeah,
did not
and
know
that is
that.
one of the unsung, obscure, heavy bands of the early 70s. Go check it out. It's
Gotcha.
tremendous album.
Mhm.
I think the album is called
All right.
Dirtbox. So really,
Yes.
really strong stuff. Yeah. So cool. All right, back to Jamie.
All right. Well, as you can see, the Christmas party has started here. So cheers.
All
Pete,
All
is
right,
this,
there you go.
Is this
Cheers.
gonna air
Cheers.
today, tonight, this evening?
This will air tonight.
All right. Well, if this is beer number 1 and it's noon, so if I am in the chat, the live chat, please excuse the typos.
Jamie will be hammered.
Yeah.
Duly noted.
All right, I'm going to fly through this. Everybody likes to do their top 10 albums, top 5 albums of the year, top 31 albums Pete's doing. So I'm going to fly through my top 10 favorite albums that I bought this year. And I'm going to start with number 10 with Murder by Death, Spell, /Bound. They are a independent indie rock band, but very much more darker than your average indie rock band. I gave Lewis it on an album homework assignment once. And he was like, yeah, but I like it. And I like that they're still going strong. Number 9, Moontooth, a band I never heard of before. And I can't remember how I found out about them. Maybe someone posted it on my Let's Get Physical page. They're prog rock, close to prog metal. They're called prog metal, but I listen to it as more prog rock. This album is called Phototroph. Have anyone heard this album here?
No.
No.
It's very cool, very proggy, but the song structures aren't crazy. You know, I'm going with number 8, Early Moods. Their second album, and this is a self-titled album. It's hard to see on the glare, I know. Pete, I sent you one song on this on a text, and you're like, holy crap, that rocks. It's like The Sword with more of a Sabbath feel, I think, than The Sword has. The riffs are heavy, man.
Jamie, do me a favor when we're done. Just send me another reminder on that, because I should have explored that further and I didn't. I love that retro album cover. I gotta go.
Yeah, they're badass. Then this next album coming in at number 7, I almost didn't buy. It is Fuzz Bubble. It's coming in at number 7.
Great.
Yeah, you know what? So Jim Bakke is on here, and I bought it because, all right, I'm sure the album's fine. I'm going to support him. I'll buy the damn thing. It'll be a fine album. Then it comes in. I'm like, oh, it's my top 10 now. I'm going with number 6, The New Elder. An 8 Passage. I think I still like Dark Roots Stirring more. I said it may be their best album. Dark Roots is still my favorite. Number 5, the new Coheed and Cambria, Vaxis 2. It's a sequel to the first one. Part 1 is very proggy. It's like, I became a fan about 20 years ago. They started losing me over the last 3 albums. It's proggy.
Yeah.
It's good. But they, you know how the Predator takes the spine out of its victim and went like that? They kind of did that with the fun in their music. They went, fuck you, fun, and threw it to the side. Here, they put the fun right back in there, man. That is a fun party album. I'm going with Pete's favorite, number 4, Eddie Vedder with Earthling.
That's a great album.
I think it's better than at least 3 Pearl Jam albums I can think of. It's a great album.
was
He got
actually
the
a
song
little
with Elton
disappointed.
John and Stevie Wonder on there. I'm going a little.
It's a great
weird.
album for people that don't like Pearl Jam. Actually,
No. You know what? You know what Grace told me, my wife, when I told her Pete doesn't like Pearl Jam and a lot of guys on Sea of Tranquility. She goes, "I thought every white guy liked Pearl Jam."
No, we don't.
No.
Can't stand Better's voice.
Number 3, I am going.
his voice isn't really as like that.
The new metric Formentera. I think that's the name of a place. I'm not sure. If you like Blondie, if you like the Cars, this is a new type of new wave band for you.
New wave.
Very catchy. Everything sounds like it should be a hit. They've been around since the late 90s. They never had like a massive hit. I always kept waiting for that breakout single and never came. Now my number 1 and 2 shifted. This one I only got about 5 weeks ago, and maybe that's why it's coming in at number 2. An Abstract Illusion, their second album called Whoa. This is progressive gothy death metal. It's an album you have to listen to beginning to end. It's not one of those songs you put on a mix, you know, whatever. Yeah, this is a trip. It's got just as much downtime as it does like harshness. The downtime can put you to sleep almost, and then when the harshness comes in, that'll give you nightmares. But it's a trip, man. Pete, you'd love it. It's like early Opeth, but a little bit different. And my number 1 at the beginning of the year, the first half of the year, is still my number 1 now. I was listening to it just today. Guild of Others.
Good album.
Pete bought it. Pete reviewed it.
It's good stuff.
I think it's proggy. It's prog rock. It's like Styx. Sounds like Styx meets Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains at times. Tom Wallace, the drummer, is now a Facebook friend of mine. It's funny how that happens on the internet. Things like that. So yeah,
I remember you talking about it on the Contrarians.
Yeah, this came out. It was supposed to come out late last year, but then it came out, I think, around January or February this year. So there you go. There's my top 10.
I will once again give a plug to Jim Baki's band, Fuzz Bubble. For anybody on this panel or watching, if you love classic Cheap Trick and Jellyfish and like even early Boston, you've got to hear this album.
It's like rock and roll.
It is. I mean,
and
it's all power pop, but it's like addicting melodies.
Fun. And the window is this big, epic.
Have to really stress though, it's not like Jamie says, it's not because he's a friend on the channel kind of thing. Jim was on the band were on the South Park album back in the day that I bought as a kid. You know,
they're on my Godzilla soundtrack from '98.
Yeah, the Godzilla soundtrack. You know, I mean, we're not talking about they've run off a few CDs and a CD.
They were signed by Puff Daddy.
They would have made
Puff Daddy's label.
You know, yeah, they would have made you. So,
and they do a great cover of Blinded by the Light on the album, which you need to hear to believe it. And Mike Portnoy comes on.
I will say this, Jim, if you're watching, I think that should have been the last track, almost as a bonus track, because it's great, but it feels
or douche.
Yeah, it should have been on the end.
Yeah, I agree with it. Yeah, great album.
I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, great stuff.
All
right, Davey.
Yo, Davey.
Okay, doke. So very similar. I'll just run through these. Some of these will be in my top album countdown, but some of them will not. Because I literally have about 100 that I've narrowed it down to so far. One that I'm sure will be Marillion's album, An Hour Before It's Dark, which is very personal to me for reasons I won't go into now, but if anyone wants to check out my channel, my review of this, you'll find out why it is so personal. Involves an act of kindness from Steve Hogarth himself. The comeback album, The Tipping Point from Tears for Fears, which they released as a limited edition Blu-ray audio.
Good album.
Being Tears for Fears, it sounds absolutely remarkable on Blu-ray audio. It's Dolby Atmos and just sounds sensational. Their best thing they've done in probably 35 years.
Do you have an Atmos setup, Davey?
Yeah, yeah.
with the speakers in the
seven,
ceiling.
yeah, and 7.1. Yeah, you really need it if you want to go into Blu-ray audio and stuff and HD audio. I don't understand why
I got
people aren't more
7.1, but
inclined towards it. But
Sorry, guys.
Mike Campbell's new album from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I have to confess, I always had a little bit of a problem with Tom Petty's voice. So I really like that this pretty much sounds like Tom Petty, but someone else singing. So yeah, it's Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs, which means something different over here. External combustion. So yeah, really strong, kind of what you'd expect. Calexico, El Mirador, Calexico back for their first in a while. Great Tex-Mex stuff.
Dig that one a
Just
lot.
fantastic stuff. These are part of a series that's ongoing on top of his own archive series, but the first three entries in Neil Young's bootleg series, two from 1971 and one from 1974, including the Royce Hall concert, which is this one here, and that's where the Needle and the Damage Done from Harvest comes from, so you know the sound quality you're getting there if you know that concert. But this one, Citizen Kane Jr. Blues, has some on the beach material recorded way before the album came out. So it's in one-off versions, solo acoustic, which he's never done again. So fantastic stuff there. I was going to pull more Neil Young out, but I've done reviews of Toast and I've done reviews of World Record on my channel and stuff, so people can check that out. This only came the other day. It's Marillion's. If you're in their fan club, you get a Christmas CD or a DVD every year. But it's not Christmas. It's just they give you a free live album or a live concert. And this is a live one from 2019 called You'll Be Glad. Just another stunning Marillion live album. Sounds that can't be made. King, Easter, This Train Is My Life, Bridge, Living with a Big Lie, through to The Leavers, Neverland, The Release, Berlin, Splintering Heart. Just phenomenal stuff. Really is value for money being in their club. I don't know if Pete, you've reviewed this or not. Again, I didn't want to tempt my own list by checking anyone else's, even yours. The Hue, Rumble of Thunder, Mongolian heavy metal.
No,
Oh
never
my
heard of it.
goodness.
Interesting.
This is so it's HU. So technically, I suppose it could be called the Who, but I'd imagine that would be a copyright problem. So the HU, you know the Mongolian throat singing that you get,
Oh, yeah.
Imagine that, but over the top of insanely catchy heavy metal riffs. This is so fun. It's not real. This is absolutely sensational. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's Rumble of Thunder, and it really describes it.
that sounds like something Nick would have talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you know what it is?
can see
Unlike some of the stuff that Nick will talk about, this is actually quite accessible and good. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Dr. John's last album, bless him, knew he was dying of cancer and recorded a kind of country-ish album. Just great stuff. Revisited a few of his old favorites, like A Walk in Gilded Splinters, and does a few more country-ish things, like I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, but you've got like Aaron Neville's on here. Yeah, I guess things happen that way. Just a nice goodbye to Matt Rebenak, one of the greats of New Orleans. Spoon, and their album Life on the Sofa, one of my favorite rock bands of the last 25 years or so.
Great
It's a
album.
great one. One that I did not expect to even be buying this year. I thought I would just be putting this back on the Scorpions Rock Believer. It's just so much better than it has any right to be. It's just the best thing they've done in decades, which I was just kind of writing them off by this point, but it's just so much better than anything they've done in so long. It's easily the best Scorpions in 100 billion
It's
years.
nice to have good new Scorpions, Queensryche, Ozzy Osbourne, Megadeth, all in the same year.
Wow. Yeah.
And the Queensryche album is amazing. Bloody hell.
Maybe not. The Smell, which is a spin-off of, some people will need to close their ears now, Radiohead. But it's Tom York and Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead doing a spin-off project. Absolutely fantastic stuff if you like your kiddie era Radiohead. One that I know quite a few people here have picked up, Under the Midnight Sun, the new cult album. Again, I think this is probably their best album in 4 or 5 releases easily as well. So again, there is a kind of trend of acts putting together, maybe it is due to lockdown, putting together their best in quite a long time. I'll just batter through these now because it's still quite a good few to go. Clutch, Sunrise on Slaughter Beach, which, yeah, this is the best Clutch album in a long time. This is fantastic. I adore this to bits. Absolutely adore it. Yeah.
Just a quick question. That Clutch album, was there an issue with the release?
Yep.
Has it been rectified? Or?
To my knowledge, it has. So it's got the album's got 9 tracks, but they had released some CDs that only had 7 that were missing the last 2. I bought the first one. I bought only had 7, so I returned it, and the replacement had the correct 9. So yeah,
yep. I got 7, replaced it, and my replacement came with 7 again. So I just downloaded the 2 extra ones.
Yeah, it didn't affect anyone in the UK. So yeah,
because I remember something about
America.
Sorry.
Again, talking about bands that best thing have done in a million years. Skid Row, the gang's all here. Just should not be this good at this point. It's kind of new lineup, but yeah, just fantastic fun. It does say on the hype sticker, the Rock album 2022. I think you should let people stick it on before you put that on the hype sticker, but nevertheless. The Pixies, Doggerel. Again, they've released much more now that they're actually, in their Reformation days than they ever did back in the original lineup. Suede, one of the great Britpop bands, have returned to their rock roots with this one, Autofiction. They were always, when it was Blur versus Oasis, it was always Suede for me. This one was out to Stephen Reed. Ginger Wildcard, and it is with his new band, The Sinners. Stephen gave me Ginger Wildheart for an album homework assignment, and God, does Ginger take you all over the place. But in this one, he's been listening to Crosby, Stills and Nash and the Band, which is a completely different sound, or the Eagles, or Poco. Imagine Ginger doing that kind of stuff. It's so far away from any Wild Heart stuff that you've ever heard.
You know how much you like the Eagles.
Nobody likes the Eagles. People just pretended that it was a massive gnosis. So
They
Ginger
like the
Wild
greatest
Heart,
hits.
best, just fantastic stuff. Yeah. So yeah, get Ginger Wild Heart. Fuck the Eagles. New one by the Arctic Monkeys. The Car, just great rock records. One that I do remember Pete reviewing at the time, because it just the name and the title just stick so much in your mind. Born, which I almost refuse to believe isn't a prog album that came out in 1972. It just sounds so much like it just walked out of the 70s and was released. It sounds like a lost album. It's sensational. It's absolutely sensational. Anyone just wanting an old school prog album, there you go. So yeah, literally, this isn't even half my list so far. Not that I'm going to go through them all just now. Black Midi's Hellfire, absolutely sensational rock music stuff, and they've gone proggy as well. This is topping a lot of end of the year stuff.
Might be hammered by the time Davey's done with this list.
Sorry.
Keep going. You keep doing your thing. Go ahead. I'm just sitting here drinking beer.
Can't help. It takes longer if you interrupt, though, doesn't it? Think about it. Jack White's doubler from this year, one acoustic based, one rock based. Absolutely fantastic. Again, best thing he's done in a long time. Who needs the White Stripes when you've got Jack on fire like that?
Hey, Davey, which of those do you like better?
I do love the electric one, which is this one.
Right.
Feet of the Dawn.
Kind of leaning a little more toward Entering Heaven Alive.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. really can't. They should have put them out as a double set, I think. But Pete, this will be on your list, I'm sure, at some point. The Dead Daisies Radiance, if it hasn't already been.
Number 31, I believe. Where have you been? Pay attention. Not
So,
watching the videos.
what did I say? I'm not watching the video, so it doesn't influence my picks. Pay attention.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Muse's new album. Again, it's the most Muse album in a long time. Again, Stephen Reed's a bigger fan than most people on the channel, but Will of the People. The Black Keys new album, which Dropout Boogie, good to have them back. Just great blues rock stuff. To go way old school to finish us off. Who knew that in 2022 we would get an absolute belter of an album from Colosseum, of all bands? Colosseum Restoration. And we obviously lost John Heisman, but we still have Clem Clemson in the band, and we still got Chris Farlow singing. So yeah, it's great to have these legacy bands who even go under the radar for people. Yeah, people that follow legacy bands don't even realize there's a new Colosseum album out, to be honest.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
So there we go.
That's
about a quarter of my list so far that I'm trying to whittle down.
It's a quarter of your list.
That was just a quarter of all the releases that came out this year, basically.
Bloody hell.
But people that say there's no new
Feels that
music
way.
anymore, that's what I say. Really? So, yeah.
All right, Armando.
Well, okay, for my last pick, this, how can I put, well, I blame Pete and Martin Popoff for this because, and I do mean that in the most loving way, Pete. I do, because they did a review on ranking the albums of XTC about it almost 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I think.
at least, right? Yeah.
And Martin Popoff mentioned a box set of solo material from Andy Partridge called Fuzzy Warbles. And it was a 9-disc set. And it contains all like solo stuff, demos, stuff that he wrote for XTC. But what he did was he combined them into volumes. And I was looking for this set. And I gotta tell you, people are fucking nuts. Because, and I do mean that bitchy, because I found this set, the one that Martin has, the big box set, on Amazon for the bargain basement price of $702. Okay. Now, did I buy that set? Hell no. I went looking, and you can get them in 3 sets like this. I'll hold them up as best I can, guys. Okay. Each set, each volume, this is 1 through 3, and each volume comes with 3 discs, right? So you have 1 through 3 on this, in this one. Okay, you have volumes, sorry, and you probably may hear Bob coughing in the background again. 4 through 6 on this, and the last volume is 7 and 8, but there's a 3rd disc. Sorry, my hands are not working that great. Hold on. Here's 7 and 8, but the last disc is called Hinges. So basically, it's what was left over from all he wrote, like the stuff that he wrote. These tracks are bloody brilliant. I can't say enough. I ordered this, and while I was waiting for it to arrive, YouTube is a wonderful thing. I was listening to it on YouTube. So getting ready, I wanted to show this on the show. Like, I honestly believe Andy Partridge is an underrated talent that people in North America really don't know about. In terms of his musical output. Some of the stuff on here, I mean, it's like a minute long, minute 45. Some songs are fully fleshed out, proper, some are demos, but for what you get on this, each disc has like between 19 to 20 songs. So you get bang for your buck, right? And the last disc, which is called Hinges on the third volume set, it's got 9 tracks on it. I found this on Amazon, these individual sets from a seller in the UK for $19.99
Each. Wow.
each. So for all 3, instead of that bargain basement price of $702, and I do mean that bitchy, I got it for $56, all 3 sets.
Hell yeah.
Can't beat that.
Okay,
Ka-ching.
guys, if you want to invest in either XTC or Andy Partridge as a solo artist, please get these sets. Like, you cannot go wrong. Okay, there's one track on here on the first volume where it's basically he's in the studio and he does these voice impressions of, for everyone from Robert Smith of the Cure to Kermit the Frog. Like, he's just screwing around in the studio, right? But when he gets down to it, he's serious, and he lays down and he plays most of the instruments when he does his demos and stuff. So he's, again, I said he's he's an underrated talent. And if the people out there want to invest in either XTC as a group, or because XTC have a box set out that you can find on Discogs, it'll be about $100 at the most, but what you get for all of the XTC demos and their product, it's good. And for Andy Partridge as a solo artist, this is a good set. So I recommend it highly to anyone that wants to invest in this stuff.
Would you not say start with Drums and Wires or something though? Because they are quite eclectic. It'd be a dangerous band to just drop
You can start with
$100
Drums
on.
and Wires. You can start with Go To. You can start with.
I never recommend starting with $100 box set.
No, I'm just saying you can. For me, I chose to dive into the set, but you can basically start from anywhere. You can start with Skylarking.
Yeah,
Right.
Skylarking is a good place to start.
Skylarking's
Skylarking as a Todd Rundgren production, as a fully fledged album. That's a good place to start too. You can even start with the English Settlement.
Black Sea's a good one to start.
Black Sea's another one. So I mean,
or there's what's the spin-off band that they had? The Dukes of Stratosphere.
Dukes of Stratosphere is great too. Yeah,
that's another one too.
Great too.
So speaking of,
do they include the Dukes of Stratosphere albums in the box set? I don't remember.
I don't believe so. I believe that was a separate entity. Yeah. But in terms of Skylarking, just to get back to Skylarking, there is an addition. There's a reissue of Skylarking with like 4 additional tracks that were going to be on the album. But if you want to get that, then get the reissue, and you'll get the complete album. So yeah,
there's a lot of XTC bonus stuff like
there is.
In fact, wasn't there a release that put together?
I don't know about over there.
Yeah.
Rag and Bone Buffet.
But any one of these volumes, there is like, again, on each disc, there's like 19 to 20 songs. So I mean, you get a lot of material. Yeah. Like in one package.
Would you say though, Armando, that they are for the completists? Or are they, where would you jump in?
I would say they were for the curious.
Yeah, I think something like that. If you got all the,
I would say they're for the curious. I'm the curious.
That's probably a great place to go next, right? I would think.
I mean, like for me, I have Skylarking, I have English Settlement, I have Oranges and Lemons. So if you have a good amount of their catalog, like some of their catalog already, and you want to, if this piques your interest, if you hear something like listening to Martin and Pete do the review, they do the ranking. I apologize. It piqued my interest to dive into it, to go into it further, to go into his solo stuff. So this is perfect. If this is what you want to, if you want to get into his solo stuff and you want to get all of it, it's right here in these 3 sets, right? And for $56, how can you go wrong?
Certainly the price is right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice is damn right. I mean, there's no other way.
But they're not
$702.
albums,
Absolutely.
no, they are like a collection of tracks rather than reissued albums.
Kind of what it sounds like.
What? Sorry, what was that? Davey, I didn't hear.
So they're not albums, they are like a collection of assorted tracks that he's assembled.
Yeah, they're not albums. They're a collection of assorted tracks that he's written. Because I mean, you know, he's a prolific songwriter, and I mean, he'll go
Absolutely.
into the studio and he'll just track something. Whether it's, and there are a few, there's a couple of 2 or 3 that are very kind of like techno instrumental tracks. So he goes all over the place, right? From the blues to pop to techno and instrumental stuff. So yeah, I mean, no, again, if you want to dive into his solo stuff, this is the best place to start. And again, $702 for that 1 box set is financial rape. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Oh,
I don't know who the hell you are that did that, but you're dumb. I'm not gonna, I'm sorry. But
He's not a schmuck, but a super schmuck.
you can find these on Discogs and Amazon for like $19.99 each, depending on the seller.
Cool.
So
Shop around, buyer beware.
That's
you
right.
have to be.
Right.
You have to be.
All right, Nick.
Okie dokie. Well, I want to make a couple of jokes about the Who, the HU. So it's like you have the Who, then you have the Guess Who, and then you have the Who, WHO with Pete Townsend, then you have the World Health Organization. So which Who do you go with? Who is who? Who knows? But anyway, well, I recently
when did the joke start?
just now by me. Well, sometimes the curse can be real, sometimes it's not. It's like sometimes you'll get some good stuff in the mail. Sometimes you'll get some Frank Frazetta figures right here.
Oh, nice.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Two menacing polar bears with a Viking.
Most famous from that cover, from that dust cover, right?
Yeah, I think so. Here's another one. This is please remove. This is Eternal Champion. That's it. Yeah, you can see the nice intricate details on this sucker.
Damn.
Yeah. And just out of my reach, Death Dealer.
Oh yeah. Gotta have that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like I've got an F ton of anime figures that you can see right here and right there, but I'm trying to keep it
Getting
in
dizzy here.
music. So it's just
I mean, Stuart and Vertigo there.
why the heck not? So yeah, and I'm gonna do one last DVD because I have to get going to work sometimes I don't want to go to work on Saturday, but I have to. But anyway, so there's this one band called Green Carnation.
Yes.
Green Carnation, not Reincarnation. They have a 60-minute song called Light of Day, Day of Darkness. This is a Norwegian band that originally started as a death black metal band that was atmospheric, and then they eventually morphed, I think, on their second album into a more progressive ambient band. In 2001, Green Carnation released the concept album Light of Day, Day of Darkness, a cult classic putting the band in the small Norwegian city of Kristiansand on the map. 15 years later, they performed their masterpiece in its entirety. For the first time, we followed the band since the first band meeting in July 2015, leading up to the grand finale in Kilden, Kristiansand on November 16, 2016. This documentary concert film features concerts and candid behind-the-scenes footage from their 2016 world tour, capturing the epic final show in Kilden, featuring multi-camera production, footage from rehearsals, touring, and interviews with the members of this band. A screen carnation like you've never seen them before. Besides this DVD, this package includes a full-length audio CD and 12-page booklet. Whew, that was a mouthful.
That's a great package, though. It really is. If
Yeah.
anybody hasn't heard that album, it's pretty tremendous.
Yeah. It's
aggressive ambience is a term I've never heard before.
upside down.
I don't know how ambient it is, but yeah, it's really good, kind of progressive metal with lots of 70s style hard rock and prog.
Yep.
Quite good. Yeah, it's quite good.
And there's some testimony from some people who've listened to it, say it helps them feel emotion. It helps them like with their creative process, because one of the guitarists actually had a stillborn back in 1994, and for several years he was feeling pretty down. So he played in
Understandable.
Emperor. Who was it? Was TCHORT. I don't know how to pronounce that. So
Chort.
Yeah.
He's been a big guy in the black metal scene for quite a long time.
Emperor, Satyricon, etc. And I don't know. It's just always just been driven to me to like listen to this. So it's
I have
just
Light of Day, Light of Darkness. It's one song for an hour.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. The band takes a break halfway through because it's demanding. It's intense. It's like guy will come up, sing a couple of verses, and they'll be like guitars and bass and stuff like that. But then they take a break, and then for like the next 10 minutes, it's more of a sit down with the keyboards and a sitar, and you just have this nice little atmospheric break, and it's just like, where's the vocalist there?
I'm not letting them ken that as an hour-long song if they take a break.
They didn't edit. And the
Bunch of
singer
Part
kind
one,
of,
part two.
yeah, the singer kind of looks like Triple H, the wrestler, a little bit. So I don't know, it's just kind of funny and done in this kind of Art Nouveau style. Very, very moody piece, and I highly recommend that you check it out. It is a demanding listen, and it can withstand like melancholy and stuff like that. It's really is intense. I'll say that. And with that,
I would double that. It's quite good. It's quite the album
Mhm.
itself is great, and the live concert is good. I think Metal Mind Production put that out initially,
Mhm.
like way back when. I have that DVD somewhere. It's cool.
right.
Good choice. Good choice.
Thank you. All
right, Scott.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah, you're going to work. Okay.
Okay, later, Nick.
All right. See you, Nick.
Bye.
Take care, Nick.
Okay.
Cheers, Nick.
Since we're in the holiday season, I thought I'd share a recent Christmas theme purchase for my second pick. Over the last year or a couple of years, I've been beefing up my Jethro Tull collection, and really couldn't call it complete without this one.
No, you cannot.
Jethro Tull Christmas album.
I've been looking for that one.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not an easy one to find.
Is it out of print now? It's geez,
I had to go through Discogs to get this.
Gotcha.
Found it. It seemed like a lot of them were going for like $30-$40.
Yeah.
It had a DVD with it. I found somebody who was selling this one used. Did not have the DVD with it, which was fine with me. I just wanted the music, but it's in great shape and plays great, and the music is excellent, of course.
Yeah.
They re-recorded a lot of those tracks, and I like the original.
Yeah.
Of like Another Christmas Song from Rock Island. Top three favorite Christmas songs of all time. There, it loses its punch a little bit. Jack Frost and the Hooded Crow loses a little something. The original is a little bit edgier.
It's still good though. It's still original.
Yeah, it's still good, and it's
originals
nice to
above
have it
those.
all together.
Yeah,
that is nice, and I'm not sure many rock bands could really pull off an entire Christmas album, at least not in my mind. Maybe a song or two, but a whole album. Get out of here, But
Leonard Skinner, Moody Blues.
Yeah,
I like the Skinner one a lot.
Heart.
Cheap Tricks one. Oh.
I haven't heard that. The Heart one is good. The Heart one's really
Yeah, I
good.
have that.
Yeah, I'd
Love Monger's Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah, but they do the Christmas thing quite well, channeling their English folky side. Ian Anderson's voice and the flute and all the instrumentation.
Scottish for Ian, please. Scottish.
Yes, true.
Come on.
It all fits
Technically,
the
that's
spirit.
right. Yeah.
Although most of the songs on here are tall originals, there are a few of traditional Christmas songs thrown in on here, including God Rest God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Green Sleeves, and We Three Kings, which they retitled We Five Kings after the five members of the band. Unfortunately, one complaint I have about this, Ian doesn't sing on any of those songs. They're all instrumentals. They're great instrumental versions, but I wouldn't mind having heard him sing on those songs. His voice is great for that kind of thing. And of course, the tall originals are outstanding as well. Birthday Card at Christmas, Christmas Song, another Christmas song, and Frost and the Hooded Crow is probably my favorite of those. And yeah, okay, Jamie may be right about that the original is better, but it all fits in.
It's not bad though.
No, not bad at all. And Ian is an excellent voice on these
Yeah,
songs.
and it'll be some boring license reason they couldn't use.
That could be it. Yeah, because this was done on the Fuel 2000 label, and
But yeah, it was their last album before the Zealogene this year. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
They have a new one coming out.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find this one at my usual brick and mortar option, so I went online with it. So yeah, for some reason I guess because it's a print, it's going for a lot on Discogs and Amazon, in the $30, $40, $50 range. But like I said, I was
100.
a nice used copy, and it just didn't have the DVD, but that's okay. I just wanted the music. So get a fire going in the fireplace, make some hot buttered rum or some mulled wine or some spiked eggnog, and put this baby on while you decorate the tree.
You know what they should do? They should release some December coming up, a big book CD Blu-ray version of the Christmas album. Big deluxe.
That would be great. I'd love that.
That would be.
Christmas shows,
That would
Christmas
sound-
songs.
I think they'll wait until Stephen Wilson's in his 80s and then we'll get that.
Does that guy
we'll
ever
get
sleep?
him to do the remix of it.
We've got Broadsword in a few months, and there's a new Tull album coming out as well.
Yeah, they're a
good
little
year for
behind
Tull.
on Broadsword. I thought that was supposed to be out already.
Supposed to be out in
Somebody's
April.
been on tour with his rather
they
lucrative
delayed.
bands.
I'm sure that has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Hopefully he
But
finished
no,
that
I'll
off
stick
because
with
he's got a new.
Phil Spector's
Yeah.
Christmas
The-
album. I'll stick with this classic. Thank you very much.
There is
All right.
there is a brand new Tull album coming out, and the
Yes,
Broadsword.
there is. I just said that.
No, I know, Davey. I also said
New
that
as in
before
new
you.
material?
Yes,
So,
that's what I said.
It's
Yeah.
all new material.
Yep.
And the
follow
Broadsword
technology.
CD reissue is coming out April, I think.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a good year for Jethro Tull fans, I think.
Very good. More to get.
All right, so let me finish this up today with a little bit of British progressive rock. So I have Stephen Reed and I have been talking about doing a Pendragon album ranking in early 2023, and I realize I have some holes in my collection that I need to fill. So I recently filled two of those slots. One of them with their 2014 album, which was recently reissued in 2019, Men Who Climb Mountains by Pendragon. And they call it actually the Men Who Climb Mountains 2019. The reason why they do that is because the 2019 release not only has the original album, but it has a live album attached to it as well, which is Nick Barrett, who's the leader of the band, singer and guitar player, live at Twigs. I don't know where Twigs is, but so there's a bonus disc that has a little live album, I guess a little solo performance thing there. Plus with the reissue of the main album. Really good. If you like Pendragon, generally you don't get any big surprises with a Pendragon album. It's just top-notch British melodic progressive rock, sometimes called neo-prog, but I tend to not
Neo-prog, yeah.
because
I-
these guys were around in the
IQ
80s.
and
Yeah,
them,
IQ, early
yeah.
Marillion, that sort of thing, Palace, 12th Night, that sort of thing. These guys were like that second wave of British progressive rock in the 80s. So fine album there. Now it's a 2-disc set. So, for whatever I paid for that, $15 or whatever, it's well worth it. And then their most recent release, which is Love Over Fear. Davey was showing us some nice full LP covers before. Great artwork. Look at that right there. So very cool, kind of like
Very
a
nice.
little wintry sea scene, I guess, right? So you got, which is pretty neat. And then on the inside, you've got the booklet attached in here with photographs and lyrics and all that sort of thing. And again, this is their most recent album from 2020. A little bit different textures, some acoustic and folky stuff on here, some Celtic themes on here, but still big bombastic progressive rock and melodic like Pendragon always does. So that's filling in a couple of gaps. I have a couple more to get, and then I'm ready to do the ranking. So yeah, great band. Pendragon for me is one of the first prog bands I started listening to in the early 90s when I heavily got back into prog, like big time. I'd always listened to some prog bands, but I was like moving away from metal at the start of the 90s and finding all this prog rock that I didn't know existed, including Marillion, IQ, and these guys. So I remember buying like those first couple Pendragon albums and thinking, wow, this is great. Where's this band been all my life? And they've been pretty consistently releasing.
Neo prog is such a weird
term.
It is a weird term.
It's such a weird term, neo prog, just because they sound more like the 70s bands than the 70s bands that were still about actually sounded.
They just
Pete just talked about that with Martin Popoff a couple weeks ago.
I did a whole thing on neo prog, right? It's and again, some of these bands, they kind of took their influence from 70s Genesis, right? So but the one cool thing about Pendragon, and if for those watching who have never listened to Pendragon before, if you like David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, Nick Barrett I'm not gonna say he's a dead ringer for Dave Gilmour, but he plays in a similar style. If you like that really melodic, somewhat bluesy, soaring, stunning single note playing, Nick is a tremendous player, and he's got a good voice as well. So if you like, Andrew Latimer from Camel as well. If you like that style, Gilmour, Latimer, you'll like Nick Barrett. He's a terrific player, kind of along that same line. So those are my last two picks for today.
Very cool.
All right.
Cool. All right. So Jamie's gonna go drink some beer. I'm gonna
listen to what's in my bag until I'm half in the bag.
There you go. You got some listening to do before Grace comes home, right? So
yes.
Yeah.
And then I can't listen to a lot of things when she's in the house. So gotta get it all out, the death metal, the weird shit.
Death metal goes away.
Let's have to go. I'm amazed it's been a month already. It seems like last week you were telling us that she left.
Really?
I know.
Yeah.
It flew by because I was having such a good time here.
I guess, yeah. So anyway, so there you have it, everybody. So thanks for watching this episode of Curse of the Collector. We'll see you again next month. And it is Christmas week, so happy holidays to everybody from all of us here at Sea of Tranquility, and specifically the Collectors crew. Hopefully you get some stuff in your stocking that'll make you just as happy as all this stuff has made us, right? And if not, well, go out and spend your own money and buy it for yourself. So that's your Christmas present. So thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together. All the damn time for Sophie was on his way to work. Jamie Laszlo, Armando Venditti, David Gallagher, and Scott Berry, IMP Pardo. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow on Ranking the Albums, where I will be ranking the albums from Swedish stoner rock veterans, spiritual beggars. We're also talking to James Labrie from Gene Theater tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And we've got Sean from King Buffalo coming up on Monday. So lots happening here this week on the channel. So till then, I'm Pete Pardo. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.